The Sports Desk at the Columbus Dispatch presents the BuckeyeXtra Basketball Podcast. With your host, Ohio State basketball beat writer Adam Jardy.
Brandon Matisse says, "Give me the rock." Here it goes. Up and away. Slam jam bam. And now he does a little dance.
Now, the BuckeyeXtra Basketball Podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, and it's my official duty to welcome you into episode 565 of the BuckeyeXtra Men's Basketball Podcast. Welcome to Jubilation City. Welcome to a recorded in advance podcast. As you're hearing this, it is Tuesday. I am recording this intro and outro a couple of days in advance because, as I mentioned on the last podcast, I'm on vacation this week. And despite that, I had an email from a longtime listener with some suggestions on someone that they'd like to hear on the podcast. And so, knowing that I would be gone for this week, I made a request. I reached out. And in a few minutes here, you're going to hear from Zed Key. And Zed was kind enough to come into the studio and have a lengthy conversation about his time at Ohio State, about life in the professional world, about cars, about his pets, about all kinds of stuff. It was a great conversation. I think you're really going to enjoy this interview. As I've talked about on here and as we talk about in the interview, Zed remains a unique player who was never afraid to be himself, and someone who I always admired his willingness to embrace who he was, to be true to who he was, and to be willing to talk after a tough game. The number of times that Zed volunteered to speak for the team after, another difficult loss or another whatever, like Zed was always there. Zed was always available. And I genuinely appreciated the 4 years that I got to write about him and then I got to cover him. It was great to catch up. So I think you're really going to enjoy this interview. We kind of hit on a whole bunch of different topics that you're going to enjoy. So that's going to be this episode of the podcast. I'm expecting that I'll have another one for you next week. I am sprinkling in vacation time here as we move closer, as we move further along through the summer here, because before long, my kids are going to be back at school, and then, I can take time off, but then I'm just at home by myself. So I am going to be taking a fair amount of time off here in these next couple of weeks, but my goal is to have something for you sometime next week as well, to just kind of keep things moving along as we get deeper and deeper here into the summer. So before we get to Zed, I want to remind you that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. If you subscribe, you'll automatically get the newest ones just as soon as our man Patrick Flaherty, the Podfather, can grab them and publish them for us. While you're subscribing or downloading, please leave a review, please click 5 stars, and please consider telling a friend. Thanks to everyone who's taken the time to do all those things. And now, without further ado, Zed Key. All right, everyone. So we're lucky enough to have another special guest here in the studio. He burst onto the scene, finger guns ablazing, as a freshman in 2020 at Ohio State, played 4 seasons with the Buckeyes, stymied Zach Edey in the first game of the Jake Diebler era, finished his career at Dayton, and now just finished a season in the Czech Republic, where, as I learned on his Instagram page, he threw down 67 dunks last season. So Zed Key, thanks for coming in. Welcome to the BuckeyeXtra podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is, I told Zed as we were walking here into the studio, Jane Hedge, longtime listener, texter, big time fan of Ohio State basketball. She had reached out and said she'd love to hear Zed on the podcast. And I saw that you were in town for Vet Week and with some of the former players. And so I thought, well, worth reaching out. So here we are. So Zed, this is really cool. Right off the top, though, before we go back in time, 67 dunks. Do finger guns travel across the sea?
Absolutely. They did travel across the pond, and they went over there to the Czech Republic and made a couple appearances this season or last season, and the fans loved it, and so did the team.
Yeah. So when you do that, maybe the first time in a new country on a new team, what was that like? Were people like, "What's going on here?" Or did they know?
No, they were definitely they were definitely like, "What's going on here?" They had no idea what that was, but after I did it a couple of times, they were down for it. They loved it. They loved the energy, and they were doing it. The fans were doing it. My teammates were doing it. So it was definitely a lot of fun, and just to see them, catch on and start doing it.
It was one of my favorite things early in your career when you started doing that and that started to take off. Just how much like the fans liked it. I mean, I remember there were videos of like little kids that were watching your games and doing it. What did that feel like? I guess when you're obviously you're contributing on the court, but you're also resonating with people. Like what was that like?
I mean, it's a great feeling, just to see the stuff you do on the court. People want to copy you, so it's just a blessed feeling.
Yeah.
Just to be able to be in that position, to have people looking up to you and following you. So yeah, it's just, as I said before, it's just a great feeling.
Yeah. So before we get into like this past season, I was hoping we could maybe go back in time a couple years, and if we go back to, hard to believe, 2019. None of us have heard about COVID yet. Right. Like none of that was on the radar, and you're about to make a college decision. What was your recruitment like? What was that process like for you when you're trying to figure out that fit for you at the next level?
It's crazy to think it was that long ago.
Yeah.
But during that time, like recruiting was crazy. Especially after the NBPA Top 100 camp.
Yep.
I was really a mid to low D1, like offers wise, before that camp. And then after that camp, it was high Division I offers from obviously Ohio State, Rutgers, Florida, USC. Can't remember all of them because it was definitely a lot of them.
Yeah.
But, just obviously, again, to be able to have all those offers it's just I'm gonna keep saying it, just a blessing.
Yeah.
Because it could be the opposite. It could be, looking at the phone, nobody's calling and, trying to figure out what my next step is. So just to be able to have those options, it was definitely a great outlet, and my family was definitely happy about it as well. But yeah, Ohio State was definitely the one that stood out. Obviously, I took they were the only official visits.
Right.
So just love the campus, love the family that surrounded the program. It's basically like family. And the coaching staff. So pulled the trigger and said, yeah, I'm going to come here.
It's always cool when I talk to guys and they have like a camp or like a season or like a couple of moments where they can realize like, hey, things are starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
What can you take us through like what that must have felt like when, obviously, if you're at that camp and you leave that camp and your offers suddenly, take a tick upward, what did it feel like playing in that camp? Who do you remember? Like, were you playing against other guys that you were really impressive against, or what was that camp experience like that enabled you to start landing those high major offers like that?
I mean, I think who was in that class? I know Chet Holmgren was in that class.
Okay.
So like during that time, there's definitely a lot of hype around those players. So with that brought a lot of college coaches and attention. So, just going out there and playing well. I just went out there and just did what I was supposed to do, rebound, score the ball, just be efficient and effective around the rim. And, college coaches loved that. So it was shocking actually after, just to see how much a phone can ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
At all hours of the night. So, it was definitely a shocking experience, but happy when at that, to be able to just be in those positions and to get those offers and to know, okay, I'm actually going to college now for free and paid.
Do you remember how late or the latest that you got a phone call? I hear this from guys sometimes. They're like, man, my phone's ringing all night, but like literally, like you getting phone calls at like 3 a.m. type of deal, or like what is that like? It
wasn't 3 a.m. I don't think I got anything that late. But I think I got one at like 11:30, and this was back in high school. So
yeah,
I was definitely asleep by that time. I had to get up at 6 a.m. to go drive to school. So, but I think that was about the latest was maybe 11:30, 12 from a West Coast school. Cause obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 hours behind.
Yeah. Cause I was going to say, I can sort of picture your parents maybe not being thrilled with like a coach calling you in the middle of the night.
No, they weren't that happy. No.
So it's crazy to think about too. Like I said, you were the last like recruiting class that had a normal recruiting period for a good while. How much did that help you make a decision that you felt comfortable with where you, like you said, Ohio State was the only place you took an official visit to, but like you took an official visit, like the class after you, like those guys didn't really get that opportunity when they committed and like things were kind of weird for a while. How important was that you were able to get to campus and to see those kinds of things and just have a normal recruitment as we understood it at that time?
Actually, it was really important for me because I don't think a lot of people know this, but before I was going to come to Ohio State, like I really like Rutgers. Obviously close to home, still Big Ten.
Yep.
Love the coach over there.
Yeah.
It's still Pikel, right?
Yeah, Pikel rules.
Yeah. Love the coach over there, and I was going to go there, but then I went to take a visit to Ohio State, saw the campus, you know, saw the academics, just saw around the campus, like where I would be living. And that's important because you need to see all aspects of like life. It's just not about basketball. It's like it's about life. Like you're going to be living there. So just saw that and, you know, loved what I saw, and the rest was history.
Yeah. So there's any career over 4 years at one place, there's a lot to unpack. I think about your time period at Ohio State, and there's a ton here. I mean, you played through the pandemic, you went to Atlantis and Maui, you had your shoulder injury, you played with some really awesome players. From a record standpoint, there were some tough moments, but when you think about like the big picture, 4 years at Ohio State, what immediately jumps out to you when you reflect on that time?
Just all the lifelong friendships I have, you know, the connections I made. Obviously love playing basketball there, and, you know, would do it again if I had the opportunity to. Yeah. But
well, you could sue someone these days. You never quite know.
Listen, if I have a little bit of eligibility left, I will take it. I will take it for sure. But yeah, it was just those things. You know, just looking back, you can't replace those. Like you can't. Yeah. You can't. So it was just basically those two things.
Well, one of the things that stood out to me early, aside from the scoring and the finger guns and all that stuff, is I remember the story about, and obviously we know your love of cars, but the story about the car accident early in your Ohio State career and how your teammates were like immediately there for you. When you do have an experience like that, how did that reinforce to you, like, hey, I feel good where I am. I've got people around me that care about me.
It actually shocked me. I wasn't expecting the whole group chat to show up like that. I just put in the group chat that I got into a car accident, you know, I'm okay. Yeah. And then, you know, just to see all of them, you know, pull up and support me. Cause, you know, I was fine. Right. I was more mentally hurt that my car was gone. Right. Yeah. Trust me. I was hurt for days. So yeah, just to see, like, have that backbone, and as a freshman, you know, it's just like, it helped me a lot, get through that tough moment. And, you know, obviously it led to, like, down in the season, we had tougher moments, and, you know, guys stuck together, and, you know, it just shows, you know, the chemistry that we had, you know, especially at that early stage. Cause what was that, September, I think it was? Yeah.
Sounds right. Well, and I think back to, I remember I did a story where I talked to your dad, I talked to Gene's dad, I think I talked to, I forget who else, a couple people, but about, like, you went off to college amid, like, a pandemic. Yep. Like, things were closed, people couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't go out and do things, and, like, that was a wild thing. I remember, because at the time, I mean, in 2020, my oldest son was 5 going on 6, and I remember thinking, like, I can't imagine having to send, like, my child away across the country, like in your case or in Gene's case. And that has to be like a really hard thing as a parent to deal with. So, you know, you get to campus and everything's like shut down and the whole world you played in empty arenas that whole year. Yep. How weird was that? I mean, I guess you didn't know otherwise in college because you hadn't done the college thing yet, but like, I constantly reflect on what that year was like covering the team. What was that like on the court?
It was actually, just to think back on it, it was just a crazy time. I had graduation the day before I left. So, the head coach was the headmaster of the school. So he came to my house. We had graduation in my front yard.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And next day I went to school. So, you know, even the first day I had COVID tests, you know, I can't.
How many COVID tests did you have to do? Well, it was daily pretty much, right?
Daily at 6 a.m. So, and it was a PCR. So it was all the way up. I think my nose is still scarred from those PCR tests. It was not fun, but it was definitely crazy. just to hear the noise, just the fake noise in the arenas, and just to see cardboard cutouts and no one in there. It definitely had a neutral site feel at every game, even if you're home or away, which was an advantage for basically both teams.
Yeah.
So, just how do we even do that?
It's wild. Like I always tell people about how when you guys played at Northwestern that year, that was like they had gotten hot at that point, and I believe you guys were both ranked. And I remember I'm there in the arena, like the upper part of the lower bowl there, and there was a DJ, which was odd, which was kind of odd.
Yep.
And there was one photographer that was there, and that was it.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, this is a top 25 basketball game. These are two really good teams down there. And I'm one of three people that are not on those teams that are in this arena. Like, that was such a jarring year. And it's like, there's probably a book in there. People tell me all the time I need to write a book. Like, maybe that's the book I need to write.
Yeah. The COVID experience or something, because it was like, even flying, like everybody would have their own row. Mask on.
Yep.
Like, we couldn't take the mask off on the bench.
Yep.
I'm coming out the game tired. This is when I was heavy, so I was really tired. So, had to put the mask on. I was dying on the bench. It was a crazy time. It was definitely a crazy time.
So that season, such an unbelievable season, because you guys had some really, really high highs, and certainly, like, you guys came right down to the wire there, Big Ten tournament, playing all the way into overtime there, and just coming up just like the slightest bit short. And I remember like being there in the arena, and the NCAA tournament selection show is starting, and you guys are still on the floor.
Yep.
And then you go from one bubble to the next bubble, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like it was like one quarantine doing different, because you were in like the Big Ten tournament bubble, and then you had to get in the NCAA tournament bubble.
Yep.
So you guys had to like change hotels and things.
I think we just changed room. I don't even think we did it. I think we just stayed I think it was at the same spot.
Okay.
I think they did the Big Ten tournament. I think that's how it was, right? If I could remember.
Because it was all like in Indianapolis, except then you guys had to go to Purdue.
Yes. Yeah. So we stayed in the same spot. We just had to travel 2 hours.
Yeah.
To get to Purdue. And that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy time too. Just to stay in the hotel. We couldn't even leave.
Yeah.
We was locked up in one of the nicest hotels.
I remember like a year or two later, I was covering a soccer event at the new stadium for the Crew, and there was someone who had been in town for some kind of soccer something, like in 2021, I think they were telling me, and I was like, oh, how's Columbus? What do you think? And he's like, well, the last time I was here, I tested positive for COVID and had to stay in my hotel room for 2 weeks and couldn't leave. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yep. And I don't think I caught COVID that year. It was the next year I caught COVID.
Everybody did the next year.
Yeah, because that's when we played Kentucky.
Yep.
Right? And that's when they had to cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That wasn't funny because, of course, I caught it right before Christmas. So you know what I was doing at Christmas time in the hotel. I had to stay in the hotel for Christmas. I couldn't even.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't. But
yeah.
Because I didn't have symptoms like that. I was like, the first day I just couldn't taste, but after that I was fine. But I still had to stay in the hotel for 14 days.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know when we were supposed to play, but I think it was near.
Yeah, it's like the week. It's usually like the Saturday, 1 or 2 Saturdays before Christmas, usually when that game is.
Yeah, Christmas. I was supposed to go home, but my parents said, you're not coming home because you have COVID, and obviously, so.
Man, the things you guys had to go through just to like have a season or two there. Cause like, and that's like you said, and that's even after like the bubble stuff is all done and you guys like, you're playing in front of fans again. What was, so coming out of that then, cause I remember then you guys, the first game post COVID for all of you was that game at Nebraska.
Yes.
And if memory, I don't have it pulled up right now, but I think you had like 100 rebounds in that game. Like I remember like you were not your normal self, but you were battling on the boards. And I remember, because there was that, and then it was Malachi had a big that was like his coming out game. But what do you remember how hard that was to just get out there and play after you were coming off of all that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like those workouts after like those 14 days was up, because obviously I had to go through testing and just make sure my heart was good and everything. Right. So like once I passed all that, those workouts, I was seeing the light in those workouts. I was so tired. Like, cause it just,
Yeah.
like I had no stamina left. So just to try to get any stamina back and then to go out there and play.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we were definitely tired.
Yeah.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because we had to get our wind back because COVID just
it was
stripped
real.
everything.
Yeah. I missed when you guys played at Indiana or Illinois that year, and EJ went off, and like that was an unbelievable like back and forth crazy game. That was the first game I had missed in the second game I had missed in like my first like 10 years on the beat, because my whole family tested positive like literally that morning. And then I remember having to like just being home and trying to just like ride. We have a Peloton, trying to ride the bike. And I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah,
like it knocked me out for like, it was like a week. I couldn't do anything. So having to play a game.
Yeah. It's crazy how that virus worked. You couldn't smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tired. Yeah.
So other highlights when I think about like all the things that did happen when you were at Ohio State. So the Duke game is one that jumps out to me. Game high 20 points. You guys were down 15, like 2 minutes into the second half. You come back, you win. Fans rush the floor. Like, when you think back on that game, what did a game like that mean to you, and how did that change like maybe what you thought you could do?
Well, first I was extremely nervous for that game in the beginning. Obviously they were number one.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first time playing a number one team and Duke in college. So extremely nervous the whole day, and it was a 9 p.m. game. Yep. So we had to wait around the whole day. Like, I took a very long nap before the game. So I was definitely mentally prepared. It was just, I was ready to play. Yeah. So, the first possession, once I saw my first bucket go in, I was like, okay, I can settle down. I'm good. And then just to have the confidence, like I knew at that time, well, still, I'm a good player. Yeah. So, just to rely on the work and just to go out there and hoop, and I think I did.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. What was it? What did that feel like then when you see the students rush the floor and everybody's like celebrating there on the court? That was such a cool moment for everyone. What was that like, thinking like, okay, we did this?
Well, first I was like, no one's going to stop these students. I was like, this is, where the police at? Like, this don't happen at NBA games. So, but it was definitely a cool moment to be a part of. Just to be out there jumping around, all the fans out there excited, the whole team out there, coaches. So just to be a part of that, and, it was definitely a crazy moment. Yeah. You just beat the number one team at that time. So it didn't really set in at that time, but when you look back at it, it's like you beat the number one team in the country. So, everyone, I think I was excited for like 3 days after that. Yeah. Like, I think I went home, had the music blasting in the car, in the house. I think I was just excited.
What music you blaring when you're excited after a win?
So at that time, I was on a big Rod Wave.
I remember this.
Yes, it was terrible. Even though I still listen to a lot of Rod Wave now, but it was terrible back then. That's all I listened to. So I think it was some Rod Wave song. It had to have been, because I had like 500 hours of him. So yeah.
I remember your teammates. There was some video I think they showed on the scoreboard. And it was like, what is your, like, get to know these players, or whatever. And there was like, every person was like, Zed, Rod Wave. It was just like unanimous that like that was your guy.
Yeah, it was every time in the locker room after a game. If I got aux, they knew what was coming on the speakers. It wasn't nothing different. It was Rod Wave.
Well, when I was in high school and we were playing music in the locker rooms, they did not let me play Oasis, even if we won. So I never had a chance. I was outvoted.
Yeah, sometimes I just have to go sneak over there and plug it in my phone real quick.
I also didn't score enough to really, justify taking things over. I sat a lot.
Yeah, definitely that 20-point game at Duke. We was listening to Rod Wave after that game.
Another thing that was interesting to me, like when I think back on your career, was like, I remember very early on talking to Chris Holtmann about your game and how, like, you were a freshman. He's like, he has a 3-point shot. Mm-hmm. Like, his game is going to grow. His game is going to expand. And I know that, like, the shoulder injury had an impact on that. What was that like, that process of trying to expand your game to the perimeter and shoot from the 3-point line consistently at Ohio State? Because there were certainly glimpses of it. I think the shoulder probably, played a role in that.
Yeah. So I tell people think I can't shoot. I'm like, I could definitely shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Like I play basketball every day. Like people who play basketball, like professional athletes, college athletes, like they can't, like, it's not like they're terrible at shooting. Like they shoot the ball every day.
Yeah.
So, and just that, them having confidence in me to be able to shoot out there, worked on it a lot during the summer and got my shot right. And that, I think, what year was that? My third year?
Yeah, it's going to your junior year.
Yeah, junior year. I felt confident in my shot enough to be able to go out there and to hit threes. I think that was the year that the first points was my three, right?
Yes. That's right.
So, yeah, I felt confident going into that year, that my shot was good enough to be able to shoot consistently.
Yeah.
And obviously I had the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
That didn't help. That at all. But, things happen. Like, so I'm not blaming on that. Just things happen. It's a game. People get injured. So, but, still working on my 3-point shot today.
Mm-hmm.
This past year, just to go off topic, I shot like 3 because I was just so effective down low.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we're still working on the shot, just trying to get it better every day and keep improving it.
I remember that brace that you had to wear. You did not like that brace, but it enabled you to play. It did. Right. And you could play at least to a certain extent before you eventually just had to shut it down. But can you explain what it felt like to have that brace on and what it was like to try to play through that? Because I remember you saying like you felt like you couldn't even breathe right.
Yeah. Well, it would go across the whole chest.
Yeah.
So it would wrap around my left shoulder and then go across my whole chest and strap across my back. So, they have to pull it extremely tight. So it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't really breathe. Just so like it was so tight so my shoulder wouldn't move in it.
Right. So it wouldn't pop out, right?
Yep. So it would limit movement, obviously.
Yeah.
Like I would use my left shoulder a lot on jump hooks. So, so that was definitely off. And obviously shooting, like I couldn't
can't extend your arm, right?
Yeah. Like it would stop it. Like it was definitely limiting it. So, but it enabled me to play. So enough to where eventually, obviously I had to shut it down because it got so bad, but it just enabled me to play and still be able to hoop on the court.
One of the things that really touched me when you were going through that, I remember being in Chicago at the Big Ten tournament and finding out that you took a bus to come see your team play because you were coming off of surgery and you couldn't fly, right?
Yes.
So can you relate that story of how you got on that bus, who went with you, and why that was so important to you to be there?
So on the way down there, obviously I just came off surgery. So as you said, I couldn't fly. I was like a couple of days out of flying. So, I think on the way down there, it was me and the equipment manager, Eric, that rode down there. And it was the longest bus ride ever. I think it was 6 hours.
That sounds right.
So it was about like 7 or 8, but it was terrible. But I was there with the team, I think that was the year we were on the run, right?
Yes.
And then we lost to Purdue.
Yep. On the Saturday.
Yep.
First team to play on a Wednesday in the Big Ten tournament, make it to the weekend.
Yep. So we had our little run. Guys was playing well. And I was glad I was there to give energy and just to see the team make that run at the end. But on the way back, also, Eric decided to go on the plane. So it was me and the bus driver.
So you drove home by yourself?
Yeah, 6 hours. I should have drove myself. That's what I should have did. Like, even though my shoulder was in a sling, I still have another shoulder to drive. So it would have been a lot faster to drive in a car.
So, but like the decision to do that, you're like, okay, I'm going to put myself on a bus and go all the way to Chicago just so I can be there with my team. Mm-hmm. Like that speaks to the relationships that you had with your guys. That speaks to the bond that those players all certainly had. And I think that also speaks to like part of what made you a player that people always gravitated toward. Mm-hmm. I remember like leading into your senior day, I heard so many stories from people who had gotten to know you that had nothing to do with basketball. People that like were just randomly on campus, maybe someone that was in the arena, but like literally people like coming out, I guess not literally because they weren't coming out of the walls, but like coming out of the woodwork telling me about like how you had impacted them, you spoke with them, like you would keep in touch with people. There was a story when the coaching staff last year went to Nationwide Children's for the Coaches versus Cancer, when the cancer patients had designed shoes for the coaches to wear. And I was talking to somebody there, one of the moms of one of the kids who were sick, and they were telling me a story about you. How like you knew, like you had seen something, you had reached out to like someone's brother and had kept in touch with them, and like how, and this was just like a random person that like I don't even know if had ever met you like physically, but like I actually called your dad when I got out of there and said, hey, you're going to want to hear this story. So your ability to connect with people has just always come across as so genuine to me, and is something that is like a real credit to like, I think maybe like your personal confidence in who you are, because I don't know that you can be that relational with people if you don't truly like know what kind of person you are. What has that meant to you to be able to share that with people and to feel that reciprocated where, hey guys, like I have a pet snake, and hey guys, I shoot off finger guns and I love cars, and this is who I am. And people relate to that. What has that felt like during your time?
I mean, well, first, like my parents, obviously this may sound like corny, but they did a good job like raising me.
Sure.
They told me just be a good person, always be humble. Don't think you're like obviously bigger than who you are. And I took that to heart, and, you know, try to pride myself every day on that. You know, you're never too good to the next person next to you. We're all humans. We all bleed red. We all breathe oxygen. So you shouldn't act like you're above somebody just because you play basketball or you're like someone of high, like notoriety. So
yeah,
right. That's the right word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just to go every day and try to be the best person, you know, don't worry about what people think of you. You know, just like if you like cars, just do your thing. Like,
yeah.
Like be yourself, and, you know, just don't try to impress, like don't try to do too much basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, just every day, just as I said, be the best person and be humble.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with just how genuine your experiences were always with people, and your willingness to share like the things that are interesting to you. Because there's a lot of basketball players that I meet that are like, yeah, I like to play basketball and I like to watch the NBA and I like to lift weights. Cool. Like what? Like you've always had a wide variety of interests, and it's part of I think what has endeared you to fans over the years. That like they know you, and they know you as more than just guy who dunks the ball.
Yeah, because that's what people see all the time. Like, well, they always see you on the court, like that. They only see you on the court, you know, hooping. People want to see what your personal life is like, and like what you do outside of basketball. And, you know, obviously I like cars, and social media is big. So I'm gonna post about it and just, like, I don't care what people say or think about it, if it's weird or not. Like, it's what I like. So yeah, like if you like it, why would you care? Yeah. What people think about you. Yeah. For doing what you like. So, you know, just trying to be genuine and with people, and like when you said, like, I talk to everybody, you know, cause you don't know, like I say hi to everybody, cause you don't know what that person is going through. Like people, like that person could be having the worst day. So, you know, just try to make their day a little bit better by saying hi, having a little conversation with them. And, you know, cause you don't know what they're going through. Yep.
So on the pet front, what is the pet situation for Zed Key right now?
So I still have 7.
Okay. How is 7?
7's doing good. I just saw him yesterday. He's actually a lot bigger. Like he's huge now. Like not for a ball python. He's pretty big. Maybe about 5 feet now. Okay. 4 or 5 feet. And 2 cats now. Okay. Scat Pack and Nova. I got Scat Pack 3 years ago.
I remember Scat Pack.
Yes. He's a big boy now. He's fully grown. Okay. And Nova I got last year. Found her underneath steps, where I live at, and came out the door one morning and she was underneath there, and I caught her. Eventually she sprinted up underneath somebody's car, and I had to ask the owner to open up the hood. But after that, caught her, and then I kept her. So she's a little menace though. She wasn't a menace when I caught her, but now she just knocks everything over. Like in my apartment in Czech, she's not going back. She's banned from Czech. I banned her. Okay. I had like a Lego that I built, knocked it over into a million pieces.
What was the Lego?
It was a Nike Dunk shoe.
Oh yeah, yeah,
the Nike Dunk shoe. Nice. It was just sitting up there. Yeah. On my little mantle up there, just holding up my house 8 sign. No, not anymore. into a million pieces. So yeah, she's all over the place, but I love her. Like, she's escaped before, but what Zed Key's House of Pets, that's what it is. It's a reality TV show in there.
I would watch that.
Yeah,
I don't watch reality TV, but I would watch that. It
would do well. It's always something going down in there between them two.
And do they interact with Seven, or like are they just like the snakes over there, we're over here?
So Nova has never met Seven. Seven's actually at my good friend's house down in Columbus, obviously, to watch him while I'm gone. And so it was just the cats over there in Czech Republic. So they were over there, just tearing everything up.
So I get asked all the time by readers and listeners, like, what it's like for guys when college ends and you're playing overseas. What was this season like for you? Let's just start there.
It was a great season. Well, first, it was definitely different going overseas. I left August 12th last year, and that was my first time ever going overseas to Europe. So I was definitely a little worried, a little nervous.
Sure.
It was far, but once I got over there and saw the coaching staff and the players and saw around the city, it was fine. I mean, had a great time. The city was nice. The team was great. We came in second place for the league in the Czech Cup and for the whole league. We lost in Game 7 in the finals.
Oof.
So yeah, we had a great team. All the guys are coming back mostly. So excited for that to go back. But yes, it was definitely different. There was definitely a language barrier.
Okay, obviously, I want to hear about that. Yeah.
Obviously, they speak Czech over there, which is one of the hardest languages I've ever seen. So everything is different with the language. They have different. Yeah, I still don't know.
How do you navigate that?
So I know some words like thank you, obviously, and some little words. But if you don't know, like in Prague, they speak English because that's the main city. Okay. But in Pardubice, when I'm at, like they speak a little English, but mostly Czech. So if they don't speak English, you just point to what you want. And hopefully they'll eventually get it or find someone that speaks English.
Do you stand out like in a crowd because of your height? And like, do people like if you're just walking through town, going to the, I don't know, maybe the mall's not the right word, but going to the store, like are people like basketball player?
Absolutely. And that's what they say. What you just said, basketball player, that's what they say. Obviously there's not too many 6'8" basketball players walking around out there. So they know who you are. They want to take pictures. They want to ask you questions that you can't understand sometimes. But they just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully they speak English because sometimes they be trying to speak to me in Czech. I'll be like, yeah, no, where's my teammate?
Do you know how to say I don't speak Czech in Czech?
Oh boy, I think I did. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that because I don't want to butcher it and sound crazy in the podcast. What
do you like about living over there? What is it like just done on a day-to-day basis? How different is it compared to living in the United States?
It's a little bit different, obviously. Obviously the architect and everything, the culture is different. Sure. How the buildings look and everything is different. But it's definitely, like, I love it. Like, where I live, it's quiet, nice little area, little suburbs and everything. Mm-hmm. I have a car over there.
Okay, I want to hear about this too, yes.
Yeah, it's nothing like what I have. Like, obviously, I have a lowrider and stuff, but it's a regular, day to day. I was struggling because, I'm a car guy.
Yeah. So
when the car doesn't do car things that I want it to do, it's a little frustrating, but you can't complain. It's a free car. So, but what else?
This is a very ignorant American question. What side of the road do they drive on?
They drive like here.
Okay.
Same side. So had that going for me.
Okay, because I've often thought that if I ever were to live in a country, I would just I could
head-on collision.
I'd be dead.
Yeah, head-on collision. That's what it would be. Yeah. Because I would forget and drive on the other side of the road. Either I'm getting pulled over, or I'm going to have a head-on collision. So yeah. But it's the same side as here. So, but yeah, everything is nice. Like, I encourage people now to go overseas, just because you get to see a different different than America. Like it's different than America.
Yeah.
Like I went to Italy, went to Naples. That was a great trip. Me and my teammate Trey.
Okay.
It was definitely crazy out there.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of mopeds and people walking and have your head on the swivel because you will get hit by a moped.
Kind of like walking down the short north on like a Saturday.
No, worse.
Worse. Okay.
Way worse. Way. Mopeds on the sidewalk. Like it's just, yeah. So.
Are there guys that you played with or played against that like you're already familiar with? Big Ten guys, Ohio, like other. I try to keep track different leagues and stuff, but like once you guys kind of all scatter, it gets hard. Yeah.
Other
guys that you have any familiarity with in the league?
So it wasn't the Big Ten. Actually, Perkins, he played at Iowa.
Oh, Tony Perkins?
Yes. He played on Nymburk. He was
shooter.
Yes, he was there. Who else? I'm just trying to run through the teams. I know I played against someone who went to Dayton, Kobe Elvis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to he played on Olamotes. I'm just trying to think. I think
it's not bad.
I think that was pretty much it.
I just realized as we're talking here that I forgot to ask you. I have it in my notes here, but I did not ask you about your Zach Edey showdown. I mean, the 5 steals, the first game after Chris Holtman's let go, just a complete emotional, hurricane for everybody. And like Zach Edey never got going because you just had his number that day. When you think back on that, what was that game like? What did that mean to have that kind of performance that day?
Obviously I was locked in.
Yeah, clearly.
But we didn't even talk about on the game plan stripping the ball. I just knew if he got the ball in the post and turned to do the jump hook, there was nothing anybody could do, obviously.
Right.
He's, how tall is he? 7'4", 7'3"?
7'4".
Yeah. So like even Felix was 6'11", and once he got to his jump hook, it was tough to stop. So I tried stripping and it worked. Stripping the ball and it worked. So obviously it was effective that game. And when you say he didn't get going, didn't he still have like 22 points?
I'd have to double check that, but
I think he still had 20 something.
But
that sounds pretty effective.
But I feel
it wasn't as effective as it.
You guys were able to throw him off in a way that no one else really did that year, which was, I thought, a real big part of why you were able to pull off that win.
Yeah, and we had great shooters like Jameson Battle and who's on our team? Dale. Dale Bonner, Bruce. Well, there was a lot of people. Goodness gracious, that seems like ages ago. Goodness, just to see that was a great game.
That was.
They were number 2, right?
Yeah.
And they rushed the court. That was the second time that they rushed the court, and also another crazy experience.
Yes.
I was ready for it though by that time.
This time you knew what to expect.
I was like, are they actually going to rush the court because they're number 2? I thought it was only number 1, but they rushed the court.
There was a lot that went into that day.
Yeah, that day was there was a lot to unpack from that day.
Yeah, that's probably a whole podcast in itself.
Yes.
You were back for Vet Week, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast. How did it feel to be back with that? Because, I mean, obviously you did have the year at Dayton. You didn't finish your career at Ohio State. Things are transient in college basketball these days. But, you got an Ohio State polo on right now. Like, you clearly still represent Ohio State. Like, what did it feel like to be back for that?
I felt old because I used to be a part of those things.
Right.
Like, I remember when they started Vet Week with us, right? Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I remember when they started it. So just to be able, just to come back and not be obviously one of the guys there, it's just a crazy thing to look at.
Yeah.
But how fast time has gone. But it's still a blessing to be able to come back, and the coaching staff still likes me, and the other guys there that came back, just to give their knowledge to the younger guys, because they're next, and we want to see them succeed. We always want Ohio State to do well, obviously. So, just to come back, and obviously we're going to school them too. I think the Vets won.
I heard that, yes.
Yeah, we're not losing.
Right.
Like, I used to be on team Ohio State winning, team young players, but now I'm team Vet because I'm old.
Naturally.
So
and
yeah.
What was it like getting to see the team, like this year's team? We've got to see a couple open practices. I've seen some glimpses of some guys. What do you think about this year's team?
Well, first, it's also crazy to not really know anybody on the team. Also, it's a completely new team, all the young guys and new faces. I think last year Bruce and Junior was the only ones that I knew. I played against Tilly in Florida.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So, but like they're really talented, really good guards, really good bigs. They're extremely tall. Like everybody just has.
Yes.
Everyone looks like they have is above 6'8" and have like 7'1" wingspan on the team. So they should be really good. They're athletic, on the boards and get out in transition. So I'm excited to see them play and get to watch them over there and check at 3 a.m.
All right. Well, I've got 2 more things for you, and then we can wrap it up because I'm sure you've got other things on your schedule for the day here. But one, what was it like seeing Bruce get picked? You would have been in Columbus for the draft, I believe.
When was the draft?
It was that week of Vet Week. It was that Thursday night he went the first pick in the second round.
I think I just got back. I had a whole debacle with me getting back and the flights. That's
travel.
That's maybe a podcast for a different day.
Yeah. Yep.
So, once I saw that he got drafted, all the hard work, because I know all the hard work he put in through the years I was there.
Yeah.
So just to see, his dream of getting to the NBA, finally, he worked for it, and, his support system, his mom, his brothers, I'm just happy for him, that just to see him achieve his dream.
Yeah.
So I know he's going to work hard in the NBA. He's going to have his own path and have a great career. So BT 2P. Keep going.
And then when I was just like going back and trying to read some stuff from your career at Ohio State, and just like I just Googled your name, like what other things pop up when you Google Zed right now. And so your Wikipedia page says, and this is a direct quote, it says, Zed enjoys playing blackjack at the St. Henry picnic in his free time.
Now, who put that in
I
there?
have no idea, and I have many questions.
Okay, so I didn't go this year, but every year at July 4th, St. Henry, Kaylin's dad lives there. So they have a picnic there in the town.
Okay.
So like they have little like you put $1 down, you play blackjack.
Yeah.
So you always end up losing. Or me, of course. Always. But it's just fun, you're donating to charity and stuff. But yeah, I'm always at that blackjack table because, if you win a lot, then you can win some money. Like it's only $1. Like the max bet is like $5. So like you're not winning max jackpots, but it's still a fun time just to be out there.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we could clear that up because I was like,
that probably looked crazy on there. I didn't even know that was on there.
It's like the very last thing. It's just like 1 cent, and I was like, wait, what?
Who put that on there?
Like, I think that's on there, but like 7 is not. Which I was like,
okay,
there's a lot about like Zed's life that I feel like would be on your Wikipedia page that's not, and then there was this. So
okay, yeah. Someone definitely added that.
And then last thing, what are you driving right now? You were telling me a little bit about car being in the shop, but because you care so much about your cars, people do ask me about this sometimes too. What are you driving now? What's your car situation?
So I have a couple cars. I have a 18 Audi RS7. That's the one that's in the shop right now. It's going to be there for a couple more weeks. It's getting some big work done. I have an 06 Magnum SRT8, which is like a station wagon. Mm-hmm. My dad has the same one also that he brought new in 06. So I remember coming out one day and the car was there. So I was like, what is this? So now I have the same car just in red because red's my favorite color. And I still have my 1994 Lincoln Town car, lowrider.
Yep.
Still broken in every single way, as I said before. But it's running and driving, but broken because it's a lowrider and I hop it and I drive it a lot.
Yep.
And I have fun in it, obviously. So it's hop, brake, fix. Hop, brake, fix, repeat. That's what it is. So, yeah.
Man, well, Zed, this has been so much fun. It's always great to catch up with you. I've really loved covering your time at Ohio State. I love getting to know your family. You got great parents. They've always been very kind to me, which has been nice. So we'll do our best to keep track. Back in the Czech Republic this year.
Yes,
so
yes.
Do our best.
August 16th.
Oh, wait. We would be remiss if we didn't mention some of the accolades you had from this past season. I did get a cheat sheet. So Czech Republic, all imports team, along with Serge Rice, Keyshawn Feasel, Kyler Filowich, and Jamanda Bryan Jr.
Yeah, that's my teammate. Yep.
Okay. You were Eurobasket.com Czech Republic NBL first team 2026. And 22 minutes a game, 12.8 points, 6.5 rebounds, 1.6 blocks. Led the league in blocks from the regular season at 1.8. All-star starter, third place in the dunk contest, which we forgot to tell that story. You kind of got... The format didn't benefit you.
No, it didn't. No. It was the third quarter, and after every quarter, it was a different event. So the third quarter was the dunk contest, and I was sitting for a little bit too long, and I'm not as young as I used to be.
Okay, so third place in the dunk contest, 4-time player of the week, MVP player of the month in March, first team, all imports team, forward of the year, season high 24 points, season high 17 rebounds, season high 7 blocks. It's a pretty good year, Zed.
Thank you. It was a long year. Obviously I leave in August and I got back in June. So
yeah,
almost a year, but I had a great first year. Obviously, and unfortunately ended with a rolled ankle on my right foot, but overall the team did well. I had great teammates and came second place, and I had a good year. So I got some hardware and
you got to see Italy.
Right. Italy and
you got a cat.
Right. The cats came back, and I was able to come here and relax for a little bit.
Awesome. Well, Zed, thank you again so much for doing this. It was great to talk to you. And like I said, we'll be keeping tabs as best we can on the next steps. But thanks again for coming in today.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right. So thanks again to Zed for coming on. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. It was a heck of a lot of fun to get to catch up with him and just check in on life and revisit some fun moments and have a great conversation. So again, if you have suggestions, there's people you'd really like to see me have on the podcast this summer, reach out, shoot me an email, let me know. As always, you can send along your questions, your comments, your love notes, your hate mail, and otherwise constructive criticism to me at Adam Jardy on Twitter or ajardydispatch.com. Thank you again for listening. Thanks to Patrick Flaherty for getting this out to you. Thanks to Zed Key for making the time. I will most likely be back with you sometime next week. So until then, be kind, take care, and we'll talk soon.
Be sure and subscribe to the Buckeye Extra podcast in the iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, or on Stitcher.